let's talk about your wood questions for today. All right, from the gluing the guitar back, from Despacito. You asked about a concavity between the nut and the 12th fret. I believe what you're talking about is relief, where you have a curvature, pardon the guitar, doesn't have a fingerboard, but the curvature between here and here is 0.5 millimeter like this. And if that's the case, leave it alone. That is supposed to be there. That is to allow the string to move in this direction, because whenever you pluck a string, it goes like this. Now, a lot of players will want their fingerboards flat. It's wrong, because a flat fingerboard going up against a curved surface means that the action has to be a lot higher. So, put a curve. Your curve is okay on that fingerboard. All right. From the Worth It tools, where I showed off my beautiful, glorious, super expensive, did I mention expensive, humidity control system, D_Morse. You asked about wood moving in unexpected ways. By maintaining all of my wood at a very specific humidity level, I know that they are going to stay in the same place. It's not necessarily the warping, because a lot of that comes from the drying of the wood, not necessarily the differential in humidity, because the outside dries faster than the inside, obviously. So around here, what we are looking to do is reduce the amount of stress overall in the instrument. And if you have a less stress instrument, you're going to have better longevity, meaning no cracks. Essentially, my instruments don't crack under humidity conditions. They will crack under stress, but what guitar doesn't? But it's not going to be caused because of a humidity differential. Now, we are very careful to make sure that it's 50% relative humidity plus or minus about 3. And in the summer, that means we're running a dehumidifier on its maximum level while puffing out humidity to ensure that we're kind of held in tension. That said, in the winter, we're just throwing out humidity and hoping that we can keep up, because here in Chicago, it gets pretty cold. For us, we have to watch out for the humidity swings. It would not be uncommon, if I worked unhumidified, to have a humidity swing between 80–90% relative in the shop down to about 9% relative or less. So that's why I'm very conscious about my humidity control. Yeah, a lot of expense around here is actually preserving the wood, so that way it's ready to use at a moment's notice. So that way, when I'm doing like a side replacement on a guitar or a new bridge or something, there isn't any stress. And actually, a lot of the time for the repair is letting the humidity come back naturally, because if it's too wet and I glue it, we're going to have problems down the road. If it's too dry and I glue it, you're definitely going to have problems down the road. So I don't want to do that. All right, let's see. From the neck build video, Vladimir, like it. Before joining 2 surfaces, you apply glue to only one of them. Is this correct to apply both sides before clamping them? It depends on your glue. If you're using a modern PVA glue, yes, you need to glue onto both sides, because that glue is a little bit more cantankerous with its flowingness. If you're using the high glue, that's just liquid. That will flow in as needed. Yes, you can glue both sides, but I find that if I do that, then I just have more squeeze out, and more squeeze out just means more paper towels and more sticky and more glued clamps, which I don't like to clean off my clamps, so I don't use too much glue. But yes, for modern PVA glues, so like your Type Bonds or stuff like that, I don't know, I don't really have that stuff around here. Yes, clamp on, glue on both sides, because you need that layer of thickness. And actually, I do talk about this in my high glue video, so go ahead and check that one out. Here, Edward Peterson. What do I think about laminated sides? And actually, I just had a guitar in the shop last week that had nearly 1/4 inch thick sides on it. it was a surprisingly good guitar. I think that there is something to it where if you have that rigidity of the frame, you get a better response from the top and the back. What I don't like about them is that they tend to be heavy. And, you know, when I handed that guitar to somebody, the first thing they said was, "Ooh." If that's your first impression of a guitar, I'm not a big fan of that. Sound-wise, I loved it. I think that there's something to be said about a more constrained vibrational area of the top, which that smaller size gives you, but without making a smaller guitar. But, I don't know. I like them. Go find one and play it yourself. I got nothing bad to say about it. Just make sure it's not a double top, because I hate double tops. I like color. Where no mind meets, I like this question. What happens if I cut a double thick top and then carve my braces out of it? In the guitar world, we typically work with a flat top, and then we glue junk onto it. By junk, I mean braces. You know, and that can be, you know, spruce, cedar, carbon fiber. I know somebody who makes essentially little I-beams. The violin world is very interesting because the very cheapest of the cheap factory instruments from the mid-1800s. All right, Philip Cooper, you asked a great question. Why are not the soundboards not made out of a single piece of wood? Oh, come here, okay? That wood would have to be this big in order to get a usable amount out of the tree. When we harvest a tree, we're looking to get at least 8 to 12 inches of usable wood for the guitar industry, and larger pieces of wood for other stuff. The amount of trees that are large enough to get a single piece soundboard is very, very difficult. Second of all, when you have a tree that's that large, you're gonna have a lot of stresses and cracks. So by having a one piece, you're not gonna have a book match. It's going to be visually awkward because all the grain lines, as close as they look, are not exactly the same. And third of all, how are you gonna ship that? The bigger that box gets, the more expensive it is, right? So I don't want to take out a tree that's that old, first of all. Second of all, well, yeah. Anywho, there's many reasons why we don't use a one piece. And let's go with the broad old tradition. Is there a way at home to test for neck warps in the guitars for those that can't get to a luthier and repair them too? There's supposed to be a bit of curvature. If your neck is doing this, maybe consider something else. If your neck is pulling backwards, do not heat treat your guitars. I know a lot of people like to do it. I know a lot of shops love to do it. They only work, for the most part, with a PVA glue where you heat up the fingerboard and then you pull the neck, let it cool, and it resets. The problem is that if you heat up that glue, you are walking a very fine line between completely compromising that glue joint and putting too much stress into the guitar in ways that are unimaginable. Actually, very imaginable, but very long to describe. Now, when I've seen several of these heat-treated fingerboards where, you know, you heat-treat them and it gets hot outside and you're walking around in your case because with your guitar, and because almost every single case known to man is black. And if you're in a warmer climate, and Chicago can definitely get warmer, the heat within the case is actually a high enough temperature to reactivate that glue again, and it pushes all the way back, or sometimes it pulls forward even more because that glue joint has been compromised. So, no, this is not an at-home kind of thing. It's best handled by professionals. And if you can't get to a luthier, maybe look for another guitar and keep that one for something else. I don't know, that's up to you. But thanks for the question. Yeah, do not heat treat your guitars. Do not do any of that. That's bad. I've got links for stuff down in the description. Please visit the site. There's a ton of great stuff. We're getting new inventory all the time. You'll find something you like. Give me a call. I can probably work with you on the price. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.